tuwakaribishe vizuri. Nataka kila mtu tuweke mkono juu hivi. Kila mtu mkono juu. Mkono wake. One. Hey.
Mengi mazuri tumeyaona, Mungu umetenda, ni kweli umeweza.
Nisikie.
Ulitamka vitu vikawa, neno tunatosha, ukisema umetenda.
Israeli
uliwagusha, kawatoa utumwani. Watumishi wako umewapa
yote ambayo,
ikiwa umependezwa.
Wabuwalo hakuna wakulipinga, hakika wewe Mungu
Wameote unatawala dunia na vilivyomo,
na kuumea tena.
Jehova
hakika tumeuona mkono wako Bwana. Umetutoa mbali. Chini, kila mtu. DJ. Hatufanyi hivyo bwana. Ambia rafiki, we are not doing it that way. We must twende chini, si ndio? We make it a vibe. We enjoy. We are here today to celebrate, si ndio? Alright. So nikisema chini, tunaenda sisi wote chini, si ndio? Alright, twende. Madam PS, kuja kwanza tuasa twende. Kuja. Msaidie. Aje huku mbele. Alright. Mtu anisaidie na professor. DJ. Aya, wale ile timu ya Machakos University. Unajua wanasemanga maprofesa ati wamechill. Kuja PS, kuja. Wanasemanga maprofesa wamechill. Let them know. Haiko namna hiyo. Kuja profesa. Wapi makofi ya profesa? Alright. That's how they gonna know event ni ya kucelebrate a superwoman. Sindio? Alright. DJ twende kazi. Alright. Tumeuona mkono wake Bwana.
Mengi mazuri tumeyaona, Mungu umetenda, ni kweli umeweza.
Ulitamka vitu vikawa, neno tunatosha,
ukisema umetenda.
Israeli
uliwagusha, kawatoa utumwani. Watumishi wako
umewapa. Angalia tu yote ambayo,
ikiwa umependezwa.
Wamuwalo hakuna wakulipinga, hakika wewe ni Mungu
Wameote.
Nisikie kelele.
Unatawala dunia
na vilivyomo, na kuumea tena.
Jehova
tumeuona mkono wako Bwana. Umetutoa mbali Bwana. Haya, twende sisi wote chini hata na utukufu ni zako milele. Jina lako sifu. Oh my goodness, my DJ. Hey, PS. Hiyo ni kali. DJ, asante sana. Simumeona wadosi? Simumeona pia wanafanya? Wale wa kusema profesa hawezi akadansi, mmeona? Yaani super kila mahali. Kwa masomo kila kitu. Asanteni sana. That's why we're gonna celebrate them as super women. Thank you so much. Now we can have our seat back. Asanteni sana. All right. Sasa kila mtu damu imerudi kwa celebration, si ndio? We are now super good, si ndio? All right. So kila mtu, kila mwanamke ambaye ako hapa tumesema you are a superwoman, si ndio? Kwa kile kidogo ambacho unafanya, hata ukifika leo nyumbani, ita mkutano ya familia yote, waambie I am the superwoman in this house. The only, hata yetu ya trophy isipokufikia, you are a superwoman, si ndio? You make us today, we are here because you existed before us, si ndio? Mulikuwa ndo sisi tukaja. Kwa hivyo asante sana, na tunaambiwa siku zote behind every successful man there is a very superwoman, si ndio? Ukiniona nimepiga hiyo luku, kuna mtu mahali anasumbuka vibaya sana. Alright, so tulikuwa kwa a brief speech ya East Africa Superwoman Award, and as earlier I had said, East Africa Superwoman Award was started courtesy of a girl who helped to rescue a kid ambaye alikuwa amezama kwa damu. Na baada ya kumrescue, manake kulikuwa vijana, kulikuwa watu wengi pale, and they would not manage to swim and save the kid. So that's how ikasemekana ule msichana ambaye aliokuwa, she's a superwoman, si ndio? And that's how now we started saying, you know, it's not again that what man can do, a woman can't do. No, the slogan changed to what man can do, a woman can do it, and even better. Sindio? So we can do. Women in the building, nisikie sauti yenu. Can you do better than men? Are you capable of doing better than men? Yeah, and that's why we're celebrating a superwoman. So East Africa Superwoman is looking for a woman who is positively impacting society, positively achieving in the department or docket one is holding. Ikuwe uko kwa parastatal, ikuwe uko kwa NGO, ikuwe uko kwa, yani wherever you are, what are you contributing to the society? What is your influence to the society? That's how the East Africa Superwoman, and that's what Superwoman Award is celebrating. You are in business, you are a woman. Are you prevailing? Are you paving way for other women outside there? Are there girls back in the village and in our country? Those are looking at you and saying, you know, that is my role model because she have achieved this, she have achieved that and that. Unanipata? So huyo mwanamke ambaye anaenda an extra mile ndiye tunayemsherekea leo. Mwanamke ambaye hajaketi kwenye comfort zone. Uliajiriwa job group ile ulianza nayo, umejielimisha, umesoma, but you are afraid of going to try. Useme nijitike pale nipate promotion. You are afraid of saying, you know, hao tunashindana nao ni wanaume. No, it's not again that way because you are a Superwoman Award. So mengi tutakuwa tunayapata baadaye. Kwa hivyo it's now my humble pleasure to get back the MC of the day, Captain Otoyo. And one thing I love with Captain Otoyo, and the reason why I called him number one, he is his own. Yeye anajimotivate akijitumia. Otoyo makes comedy out of himself. Yani he consumes within himself. And that is the super. It doesn't go look for that content mbali. No, himself is the content. And one of the people, you know, everywhere, anywhere he is talking of how man is able, how man is capable of doing. In the space we are today, the gospel will be spreading. It's how man is capable. So welcome so much back on stage. And rest, we'll get it from Captain Otoyo. Thank you so much. From East Africa Superwoman Award, we are crowning a woman of excellence. Thank you so much. DJ, get us ready.
Mdomoni bonza kichwa, chunga sana kinywa chako, usinene mabaya, baraka upate baraka. yatakuzunguka wewe. Ukimtupa mwenzio kwenye kivuli, kesho mwanga utakukosa tena. Ukicheka machozi ya jirani, ukilia nani atabaki? Kile unachokisema kwa hasira kinarudi moyoni, kinapunguza pole pole. Wewe sema pema, ukisema sema kwa upendo. Wewe kata tamaa ya laana, ukimwaga uchungu utavunwa mwenyewe. Mdomoni ponza kichwa, chunga sana kinywa chako, usinene mabaya, usinene mabaya.
Nyinyi ndio mme dance gospel hivyo, na kabisa kwa roho yako unajua vizuri unatamani Taska. Sijawaamini. Chini mpaka chini na mnazienda, na sasa hiyo ni hangover inakumaliza. I'm happy. Our chief guest, asante sana kwa kuja, asante sana kwa kutenga wakati. Can we get it started now? 30 minutes max of this small panel session, and then we walk straight into awards. During awards, we'll try not to have speeches like, what we do with awards, you say something after you are, we'll try not to have, so that we can move a bit faster, because the recipients are way too many. Is that okay with us? Is that okay with us? Kwa hivyo usione tumekunyima shine yako wakati wako. We will have done the recitation kwa uzuri. All right? We are discussing, and I believe the panelists watakapokuja on stage will have picked an area they would love to discuss for their 5 minutes. We'd love to discuss GBV. Everything around it in your 5 minutes. So you'll choose a particular, I believe you already know, because this was sent out to you. You must have settled on one. We're going to discuss GBV, women fighting fellow women in our spaces, women breaking glass ceiling, and the role of a woman. The first one, sijaona picha yake kwa slide, na ama hajaenda studio kupigwa picha. Sijaona picha ya Madam Stella kwa slide. Please niwekewe picha ya Madam Stella, naomba niwekewe kwa screen. Right. So the first one to join me on stage, kindly come and take your seat, is Miss Stella Cheluget Langat. Miss Stella Cheluget Langat. Second one to join me on stage is Miss Stella Nzembi. I hope I pronounce it right. Nzembi. Third, so no, not Miss Stella Nzembi. I think she has not yet figured. The second one is Miss Pauline Shegu. Miss Pauline ni huyu ambaye hata taa ikipotea hatutabaki kwa giza, atatumulikia nyumba. Miss Pauline Shegu. The third one is Miss Anne Wangombe, the PS, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action. Miss Anne Wangombe, PS, State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action. Kindly take your seat as you walk in. Kindly have a seat as you walk in. Fourth one, Miss Fatma Ramadhan. Miss Fatma Ramadhan. Umewatumia kitu? Fatma Ramadhan. Fatuma Ramadhan. Nimeweka you. Nimeiongeza. All right. This third one. Fourth one. Honorable CPA Jacqueline Masicha Kakai, the CEC for social services, sports, and youth, Kakamega County. Niwekewe picha ya Miss Stella kwa screen, tafadhali. Sijaona picha yake. Ama hujaingia studio? Hujapigwa picha kwa studio? Wamenikosea hawa. All right, and the last one to join us on stage. If you know you are representing the person, you can as well walk into their place. Sio lazima utajue wewe, unajua unamwakilisha. Miss Stella is here, Miss Pauline Shegu, Miss Evelyn Cheluget, Miss Evelyn Cheluget, pole. Miss Evelyn Cheluget, she's already here? No? She's on stage already? Miss Evelyn, ama ulibadilisha jina, umesahau jina yako kabisa. Miss Evelyn Cheluget, Honorable Jacqueline Masicha, and Miss Fatuma Ramadan. All right, the microphones are on your table. We'll keep it short so that we keep it within our time. I think we can go random, or you'd like me to go one by one, like we start with Stella at the far end, itremke mpaka kwa Miss Shegu. Is that okay? Utuanzie pale mwisho, ikuje na CPA Jackie mpaka hapa kwa Shegu. Lovely. Your 5 minutes start now. Once you finish, kindly wait until the 6th speaker so that you can leave the stage together. Karibu. Pick your area and let's go. Umesema microphone imefanya ile kitu. All right. I'll pick it again and refresh. The ladies seated on stage are going to pick an area, just one area, to discuss in their 5 minutes. GBV. It's a women's only affair. Vile nimejikuta hapa hata mimi sijui. Although najua watu wengi wanasemanga niko na nilijua utasema hiyo kitu. So we're going to discuss GBV. Pick an area that you're comfortable discussing. Women fighting fellow women in power. Women breaking glass ceiling. And lastly, the role of women in empowering fellow women. How do you impact on a fellow woman and raise them to the next level as a person? Anyone can start?
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stella Soilangat, as you've heard, and I'm privileged to sit here and to be part of this honorable winners and award, winners of the Superwomen. We have been told, all of us, we are Superwomen, and I believe even the men in this room are also super. I think I'm going to discuss on GBV, which touches all of us, men and women together. And as I sit here as a living testimony of a woman who has lived through GBV, and I've lived a life that is rewarding, and I have risen against all odds, and here I am today, together with all of us, celebrating the journey of a woman who has seen it all in the family, in the workplace, and many other places where GBV is prevalent. And maybe as we discuss issues of GBV, GBV is not just physical violence. I know all of us, as we sit in this room, we are aware of domestic violence. There is also GBV in the workplaces, which I believe all of us, we are not able to appreciate unless we get into the depth of the issues, where GBV is, how GBV is, how it is presented in even our workplaces. So I think we will have an opportunity to discuss, and all of us will share our ideas, because we are all living in families, in workplaces, in various places where we do whatever business that we are doing, and we'll be able to appreciate and also know how to deal with it, so that we have a good society for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Honorable CPA Jacqueline Masicha. I'm the CC in charge of social services, youth sports, gender, culture, and library services from Kakamega County. I'll first of all appreciate the opportunity that I have just to be on this panel. And for me, probably the topic I like to touch is on the role of women uplifting each other. I'm not really in agreement with the statement that normally says that women are women's own enemy, because there's a lot that women can do so that we are supporting each other. When it comes to women, we have young women who are between 18 to 35, where I fall in that category. Then there are those who are above us. And for me, I always give those who are above us one challenge: that hold the one that is coming up. Because at the top, there is enough space for all of us. We can only be productive when women hold each other. I think there is a reason why, when we're even talking about countries, we refer to a country as she. Is there anyone in this room who has ever heard us talking about a country and saying he? It's because women are the only productive people. You give a woman ingredients, she'll give you food. You give her a house, she gives you home. You give a woman a seed, she gives you children and a family. So at the end of the day, there's so much women we can do by simply holding each other's hand, by not fighting each other, and being in the gender docket. In as much as we're talking about the role of women, currently I'm working on the male engagement. That is why I'm so happy seeing the men in this house. Because once we engage men, then most of the issues we are working towards as women, it becomes easy. It becomes easy for us to perpetuate so many issues through male engagement. And at the end of the day, as women, we'll be able to uplift each other, we'll be able to grow, and we'll be able to serve. Because we've seen what women have done when they have given positions and they have given role to lead. And so kindly in this room today, as we live, let us purpose as women to hold each other's hand, and as men, because we want to engage you and to work with you together. Please also hold our hands. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Evelyn Cheluget, the Director General of Immigration Services, and I'm so honored to be here today on behalf of the many women who have served this government as civil servants. So I'm here today on behalf of every civil servant, the men and the women as well. So today being the day for the women, I would like to speak on women breaking the glass ceiling. I don't know what that means, but God has given the responsibility and the honor to be leaders where they are. And I'm one example of that. It's not by strength, it is by the grace of God. So while God gives us the grace, there is what we need to do as women. We need to build our competencies wherever we are in the office. Most we need to love ourselves enough to know that we can do what anybody else can do. We are God's creation, and when we compete in our offices, it is what we do there that pushes us to where we are. The professionalism, the competencies, and just being positive-minded is what makes us harder and to reach where we have reached. In the workplace, I would encourage every woman to do the best that God has given you to do. Do good to all those who deserve it, if it is in your power to do it. Women, we have a soft heart, and God has given us the grace to be able to love mankind. As civil servants, we serve with a lot of dedication. We are the most loyal people or patriotic people. Why do we say that? As I said, I'm here to represent all civil servants. We serve that holds governments together. And when our brothers are working hard, we too should be able to work hard. Learn the skills, be competent, expand, and brighter. There's no limit. God has opened the skies, and all of us should be able to compete to reach wherever God has allowed us to be. So in women breaking glass ceiling, we need to be very strategic and very focused on higher goals. As you start your career, know that heaven is the end of it. So you work knowing that we all qualify, we all are competent. Learn from each other and set goals, very high goals, so that it can guide us in decision making, in policy direction, and just doing our best, and always doing the right thing. Thank you very much. As you celebrate us today, we also celebrate you. Congratulations, everyone.
Habari za jioni. Habari za jioni. Asanteni. Kwa majina naitwa Fatuma Ramadhani. Naomba nitumie lugha ya taifa. Mimi ni Mswahili, ni Mmijikenda, nimetoka Kilifi. Naipenda sana lugha ya Kiswahili. Fatuma Ramadhani ni mwanzilishi wa shirika ambalo linaitwa Dada Yangu. Kwa hivyo nafanya kazi kwa ukaribu sana na kina mama, wanawake na wasichana wadogo ama mabinti ndani ya jamii yangu. Mwanzo najisikia faraja sana na furaha kuwa miongoni mwa hawa wanawake. Nimesikia CPA, nimesikia director, and mimi mwenyewe kama Fatuma nimefanya kazi in the media space, lakini nika transition, nikasema acha niingie kwa NGO, CBO space kwa sababu nilifeel ni kama huko ndo nina passion zaidi. Lakini sasa nime transition, nimeingia in the political space. Mwakani 2027 na tumai Mungu akitupatia uhai, panapo uhai na afya, nita run for woman rep Kilifi County. Naomba mnipigie makofi. Nikiwa binti mdogo kabisa, I'm the youngest in the race. Kuna changamoto nyingi sana. Nilivyoambiwa nitakuwa miongoni mwa wale watu ambao wataongea kwa hii panel, nilisema maybe naweza nikashare vitu vimoja viwili. Sijui kama ni mimi peke yangu ndani ya hii nchi ambaye nimeona kwa ikifika mwezi wa 5 mpaka mwezi wa 6 watu wanakufa sana. Ukienda ukiangalia kwenye TV, mwaka jana ilikuwa watu wanajirusha kutoka kwenye buildings. Unasikia Nairobi, sijui Kilimani mtu amejirusha. Sijui mtoto wa shule amejirusha. Tena mwaka huu imejirudia tena. Wasichana wanauliwa ama wasichana wanauawa mikononi mwa kina baba. Men like to say it's not all men, but kila siku tukisikia mwanamke ameuliwa na mwanamume. Nilivyoingia hapa, nimeingia na mama zangu wakubwa, and the first thing I said, kumbe kulikuwa kuna wanaume wengi hapa. I'm really glad mko kina baba ili tuweze kuambizana. Jamii yetu ina changamoto. watoto wa kiume sijui wanatuchukia ama sijui itakuwaje in the next few years. Kwa sababu wakituua sijui tutaishije. For a community to be able to prosper, we have to feel safe. Lakini sasa kama hauwezi kutembea usiku ukafanya shughuli zako, ukiogopa mtu atakupiga nyongoloa kuue, then we can't. Ama tunaweza kweli kuprosper? I don't think so. So kina baba mna changamoto manyumbani, mmeiachia shughuli yote ya kuwalea watoto. Kina mama wengine wanajaribu, wanafaulu, wengine wanashindwa. Kina baba mna changamoto. Mimi naomba tu niwape changamoto ya kwenda kukaa na watoto wenu wa kiume na wa kike, kuwaeleza. There was a day I think I saw on TV that there is a girl who alijirusha kutoka kwenye gorofa na marafiki zake walikuwa hapo ndani. I don't remember the university, but hata ukiwaangalia hao vijana wenyewe, they are clueless. Yani ni kama hawaelewi zile consequences ambazo wanaenda kuface. Na sisi majenzi na sisi vijana wa hii nchi wa sahihi, yani tuko hatuna habari ama tunajifanya hatuna habari. We don't care kabisa yani. Inabidi tujiite mkutano, tujiulize maswali sisi wenyewe kama vijana. Hatuelewi kunaendelea nini, hatujali, hatuulizi maswali, hatujifunzi chochote, tunajifanyia vitu tu. Wazazi hawatuwezi, hatuambiliki, tunajua kila kitu, mzazi yeye hajui. Sasa hii hata nilisikia ukiitwa millennial ni matusi. You're just a millennial. You're just a boomer or you're a Gen X. Hebu tujiite mkutano jamii nzima tafadhali. Mambo ya GBV ni mambo ambayo tumeongea kwenda na tusipochunga tutayaongelelea tena, haipendezi. Juzi kama wiki 2 zimeisha, kwetu Kilifi kuna msichana wa miaka 7, a very young girl, grade 2. Mwanamume alimshika akamfanyia kitendo cha unyama ambacho ni ubakaji, akamvunja miguu, akamuua. 7 years. Watu hawana raha, watu wanataka kuhama manyumba yao, watu watakosa biashara, landlord na landladies, watu watahama kwa sababu if people don't feel safe hapo mahali kama mtoto wa miaka 7 muuliwa, inamaanisha watu watahama, watatafuta sehemu zingine. Kwa hivyo tuna shida. We have to be vigilant as a community. Lazima tuangaliane na tupointiane mikono hivi. Lazima tupointiane mikono. Kuna wengine wanaitwa mawoza. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a group of very young boys, 12 years to 15 years. Wanawashika wanawake, wanawaua. Wengine wanago an extra mile kuwanyonya matiti. Mtoto wa miaka 12 anakunyonya matiti mpaka unatoka damu. Mamake yuko wapi huyu mtoto? Ama babake yuko wapi? Huyu mtoto anasoma kweli? Wewe mzazi, mtoto wako kama hasomi, una mipango naye gani? Kwa sababu sasa akiwa mtoto wa miaka 12 inaweza fanya hivyo, inamaanisha ni jambazi. Jambazi ni afanyeje? Ni auawe. Mtoto wa miaka 12 tukimuua, tutakuaje kama jamii? That's literally the next generation. So our community has so many problems. Lazima tujitane mkutano. Hizi panel discussions ni nzuri, lakini si jibu unfortunately. Tutaongea panel discussion, kina mama watapiga kelele, mtasema ni mavazi, si mavazi. Kwa sababu kama wanaweza kumshika mtoto wa miaka 7 wakamfanyia hivyo, si mavazi. Tuacheni tuvae tunachotaka jamani. Mmesikia kina baba? Tuacheni tuvae tunavyotaka jamani, msitubake. We are not safe and it's because of you guys. You need to go back to being our protectors and our providers. There's a problem in the community. I don't know what's happening, but it's time for us to actually self-reflect, tuliche mikutano, tuweze kupata suluhisho. Lingine ambalo ningependa kuongelelea ni kuhusu wale ambao wanasema women are their own worst enemies. Mimi niseme tu kwa ukweli, since I've gotten into the political space, nimepata support nyingi sana kutoka kwa kina mama, sana. Hata kina baba mara nyingine wanajiuliza shida ni gani wazee? Si mimi nataka kuwa women rep, naomba kuwakilisha mama zangu ndani ya Kilifi. Naomba kura zenu, mkimnipa support nitafurahi sana. Lakini men they perpetuate a lot of violence against women, especially on social media. Women in the political space no, but tunatukanwa matusi makali. Tuna wazazi wengine, wazazi wetu wanaona mtu umeitwa kahaba, sijui unalala sijui na nani, sijui nini, matusi. In the political space hakuna raha. And women will usher you. They will sometimes, okay, maybe sometimes there's doors they won't open for you kwa sababu wajua mimi sasa I've collected all these people, hizi ni contact zangu, maybe they don't want to do that, which is obvious kwa sababu we are in a patriarchal community. Mkiambiwa kama watu ni 6 hapa, wanaume 5 washakaa bado kiti kimoja, tutapigania hicho kiti. We have to fight for it. But if there's so many spaces, kama kuna nafasi nyingi za wanawake, hatutazipigania. Inamaanisha mtu mwingine akipata, mimi nikipata, naweza nisifaulu Kilifi kama woman rep, lakini naweza nikaenda nikafanya kazi Kakamega nikawa chief officer ama waziri wa kitu, na lazima nijue kina wanawake kama hawa na wengine. So to be honest, siwezi sema kwa wanawake ni maadui wa wengine. Siwezi kuwa messenger wa hiyo news na nifanye iendelee kutembea. I can't, because of all walks of life. Sijaambiwa oh, wewe ni mdogo uwezi sijui nini. Hapana, sijaambiwa wala sijaipata mwanamke akaniita maneno makali, lakini kazi iko kule kwa kina baba zetu. Kwa baba zetu twaomba mtupende, mtulinde. Tuna kazi kama jamii. Tusipojiita mkutano tutakuwa na kibarua in the next few years, na sijui kama wengi wetu tutaolewa jamani, kwa sababu there is so much resentment between the woman and the man, because if you kill me I'm not going to love you, and if I can't feel safe around you then inakuwa haina maana. Asanteni na pole kwa maneno mengi.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Dr. Josephine Obonyo. I'm the Secretary Gender, State Department for Gender Affairs and Affirmative Action. And I bring greetings from the CS, Ministry of Gender, Culture and Children's Services, and also greetings from our Principal Secretary, State Department for Gender Affairs and Affirmative Action, Madam Anne Wangombe, whom I'm representing in this panel. First and foremost is just to mention the fact that the issues that have been raised here already, the issues around, for example, gender-based violence, issues around women breaking the glass ceiling, and all issues concerning gender. As a State Department for Gender Affairs and Affirmative Action, it all falls in our docket to ensure that something is done about it. And what I can say is that, for sure, something is being done about all this. If you take an example about issues of women breaking the glass ceiling, today we're going to see a lot of women being awarded here, and we have to look back at these women who have achieved all this. Did they just wake up and found themselves in those spaces? Somebody before us worked hard to ensure that gender is mainstreamed and these women are given the spaces that they need. And that is why today my sister, my young sister, my daughter can sit next to me and actually declare openly that she wants to have to get a political seat. People have worked and ensured that those spaces are there, and therefore we celebrate the women that came before us. And as State Department for Gender Affairs and Affirmative Action, it is squarely in our docket, and we have a lot of programs to ensure that gender is mainstreamed and women are able to get the positions that they deserve in society. Now, at the same time, with regards to issues around, for example, gender-based violence, as a State Department for Gender Affairs and Affirmative Action, again, we work on programs that we ensure to prevent gender-based violence, and also after it has happened, then what next? We also have programs that ensure that the entire cycle, we call it the cycle that a survivor goes through, right from the time somebody, for example, the example she's giving, has been abused. We have a whole cycle, and we ensure that a victim or a survivor of violence is able to be assured of support. Now, very recently, I'm sure we are all aware that the President, His Excellency, our President, set up a technical working group on GBV and femicide. And this technical working group came up with very good recommendations on way forward that will ensure there are also funds available that ensure that issues around gender-based violence and femicide that have been talked about right here are not only mitigated as we move forward, but also there are resources available to ensure that survivors, because such people also live survivors, that survivors are able also to be taken care of, and the entire cycle of how a survivor is supposed to be taken care of, the case management is also well assured. Now, elections are coming in soon, and one thing is for sure, we are looking out, and we're soon going to be actually putting out a call so that the young women like my daughter here who is saying she wants to vie are able to come out and register and let us know who are those who want to vie, especially the ones who are upcoming, and to ensure that they are also able to get support through the government and also through partners so that they're supported. And we also work very closely with, for example, registrar of political parties and all the other government organs to ensure that such ladies, such young women, able to also find their space in terms of leadership and decision making. And therefore, one thing is for sure, that as a government, we are putting in a lot of effort through the State Department for Gender Affairs and Affirmative Action so that all these issues that are being raised here can be able to be not only mitigated, prevented, but also to be mitigated. So with that, I would like to assure all the ladies in this room that we are out looking out for you in each and every aspect, and therefore it's a very holistic way through which the State Department ensures that women and girls particularly are taken care of. And therefore, with that, I would like to again wish all those who are going to be receiving the awards today all the best, and we keep it up. For sure, we go beyond the ceiling, and way out, the sky is our limit as women. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Allow me to ride on the protocols already observed. You know, when your seniors have spoken and they've touched in almost all the topics, mine is just to wind, yeah? My name is Pauline Shegu. This is a familiar name, and I'm sure most of you here, my age mates, I used to grace your sitting rooms with the famous Mtukufu Rais Daniel Arap Moi every 7 p.m. I'm a media personality, I'm a communication expert, and I am the lady rally driver. A lady who has done the WRC Safari Rally since 2023, 2024, 2025. My fellow lady here has spoken about women breaking the glass ceiling, but she has touched on public service. I'm a public service. I work for public office. I'm a government officer, but I'm going to touch on sports. Women breaking ceilings on sports, because I'm a sports person. And you have seen so many women breaking those ceilings. Me, one of them. And mine is very unique because I do safari rally. How many of you can enter in that car? A car that I drive 180 kilometers per hour. You have seen it. And this is the best sport that brings revenue to the country. This is the sport that when you hear of Naivasha, I know most of you here travel to Naivasha to just watch those crazy drivers. I'm one of them. I got into it so that I can break that stereotype, that narrative that motorsport is a male-dominated sport. No. Even you ladies here, you can break it. Pauline Shegu got into motorsport to break the narrative. My journey in motorsport is very weird. And why I've broken the ceilings, and with other fellow ladies, not all women can get into that cars. I know most of you here drive automatic cars. You just get into a car, put the gear, drive, it drives you. You relax. But for me, I love manual. And that is why I drive the manual rally car. I've broken the ceiling because I've become one of the most ladies who have finished the podium. I rally with the international drivers worldwide. Out of 60 drivers, I end up to be one of the only ladies to finish to that podium. Because I said to myself, the moment I get into this sport where everyone is just men, I have to do something for my fellow women, to inspire you women. And you cannot only break barriers in sports, in leadership, in governance. We've seen our Madam PS here. They're doing wonderful work. Our ladies here, secretary here for gender. We are breaking barriers. We are breaking those ceilings because we want to make a point. And I'm not saying this to put down our boy child. No. I am in motorsport to change that narrative, that this rally is for you men. This year I faced a challenge, a serious challenge. Just the last day when I was getting into the final finish, my car was toned. My windscreen was shattered. It killed my morale. But I said, I know and I knew this was not a lady, this was not ladies, this was not children, girls who stoned my car. These were men, because I saw them while I was coming out of my sleeping warrior stage. But it finished me completely. It killed me completely. It finished. I even said, I'm hanging my boots. I'm no longer getting into motorsport. But no. My co-driver, Lynette Ayuko, because I drive with a woman who reads the pace notes for me. A lady who tells me, Pauline, 500 meters, triple caution, there is a hairpin. Do you know how a hairpin looks like? That's a corner. A sharp corner. She has warned me, triple caution. So by the time I'm reaching that 500 meters, I know I have to slow down. And that time I'm full throttle. I'm driving 100 kilometers per hour, but I have to listen to my co-driver. So it has really helped me to break the ceilings. I've been awarded many awards by His Excellency the President, former President, the current President. Yesterday, I just got an award of Hero of Africa 2026. The last weekend, I got an award, the Thamani Africa Sportswoman of the Year. And I'm here, continue to break these ceilings. So my fellow women, please, when you get into those spaces, I'm speaking because I love sports, and my fellow lady here has spoken about public service. Mine is sports. We've seen Faith Kipyegon. They are breaking ceilings. They come with millions. They want to prove us men, our fellow men here in Kenya, that even you can do it. So for my fellow women here, you are so wonderfully made, beautiful. Fear that space you are getting into. My fellow women here, when you get into that office up there, you found that door open, leave it open to the next lady coming up. Ceilings, let's keep pushing the narrative that where a man is seated, you as a lady, you as a woman, you can also take that front seat and sit there. In churches, when we get to church, we find ourselves going at the back. Whom are we leaving those front seats for? They're not written reserved for any pastor. Unless it's written for your pastor, leave it there. But if it's left open, sit on that front seat. That is why we see Madam Pierce here. She's leading. She's leading by example. Our secretary here, our upcoming women rep in Kilifi. I wish you the very best. But for me, motorsport, I am still pushing that narrative, because men, you have always thought it's a man who can drive that car. No. Pauline, other Paulines, many Paulines coming up, they can still do it. So let's support our fellow women. Let's be mentors to the young girls. I don't want to touch on the GVB because my fellow women have spoken about it. Let's be mentors. Let's hold their hands. Let's give them a conducive environment to speak about what is disturbing them, especially on GBV. Let us lead by example. So, I want to leave you with a parting shot here. My final word. As women, we are powerful beyond measure when we choose unity over division, courage over fear, and empowerment over competition. Let us continue breaking barriers, protecting one another, and creating opportunities for the next generation of girls to dream bigger and rise higher. Thank you so much. God bless you. And all the nominees, the awardees, I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Asante sana. Let's appreciate the panel as they take their seats again. Asanteni sana. You may take your seats again. Asanteni sana. And to Fatuma, kila laheri inshallah. All right. Wenye wanataka kusimama MCA pia mjitangaze. Thank you so much. Asante. Miss Stella, tumepata picha yako, nadhani kuna mtu wako na roho nyeusi mahali alikuwa haitaki. Before our chief guest addresses us and then we start awarding, let's have one last panel, one last one, and then chief guests, and then awards. Is that okay? Sugar levels? Ziko samaba. Vegetarians, msiogope, mambo yenyu inje mumeekewa, matawi zenyu ziko kwa kona. Kwa hivyo kila mtu feel safe. The next panel, I believe, will take a shorter time as well. And it's the last panel. Lulu Hassan was supposed to be in this panel, but she's not yet stepped in. Kwa hivyo skip. Our dear chief guest, before you make your maiden speech, allow us to have this last panel. The first on stage will talk about the role of women in education and her area. She's able and ready to deal with it properly. The second on stage will talk about women in business. How do you maneuver? How do you swim in the deep end? The third one on our panel is talking about women empowering women. The fourth lady on stage is talking about women in the education space. Very different from the first speaker's role. The first speaker talks about the role of women in education. The fourth speaker talks about women in education. The fifth speaker talks about community service. And the last one, before the chief guest speaks, is someone better placed to talk about this: inclusivity, the disability space. How do we include them? How do they become part of this whole logarithm and swim with the sharks? Allow me to invite on stage now the TSC boss, Miss Evelyn Mitei. Also joining Miss Evelyn from Bed Palace. From Bed Palace is Miss Lynette Kinga. Miss Lynette Kinga. Joining the two on stage is Miss Nzembi. Miss Nzembi. The first name is? Miss Nzembi was supposed to be on stage much earlier, but alikuwa bado anatafuta mafuta. Ni tabu. Miss Nzembi. The Chief Officer for Public Service and Administration and Devolution from Mombasa County joins us on stage. The Deputy Governor of Meru, Her Excellency Miss Linda Gaki Kiome, joins us on stage. The last is the chief guest. So chief guest, you will come in immediately after this panel, and then we go into our awards, kindly. Asante, and I think we have a full house. Did I leave someone out? Miss Stella Nzembi is there? Correct. Miss Lynette Kinga, there. Miss Priska Nduku Mutua. Miss Priska Nduku Mutua. Nisamehe macho. She's not here. Is she here? Miss Priska Nduku Mutua. Ako kwa dwellers. Miss Evelyn Cheluget is here. All right, and I believe we have a full house. TSC, you're talking to us about women in education. Bed Palace, you're talking to us about women in business. Is it Miss June? Miss June Chepkemei? She's here? Or she's coming next? All right. Miss Agalo? You got kwa stage already? All right, and I think we're getting one more panelist. Pole kwa mchanganyiko wa hali ya hewa. DJ, unaweza ukanigusia play kidogo tu? Iko karibu na stop. Zimekaribiana. Kidogo tu.
Alexis on the beat. Ningejua lugha zote, wimbo ningemtungia, wa uwimbe watu wote, naye akausikia. Mtazame shepu yake, inavutia Adamu. Wakijua ana wake, wanapoteza fahamu. Anajua hadhi yake, tena anayo nidhamu. Ni mwenye bidii zake, hufanya kazi kwa hamu. Mwanamke mpambanaji, mwanamke hodari, mwanamke anapenda kazi, mwanamke ni jasiri. I'm a superwoman.
We're waiting for an extra seat for Miss June Chepkemei to join us. There we go.
Find a way, she gotta but that ching is only the Messiah. And for her baby, she knows she better. She's not the type to sit around and lazy. All of the things that like they said she wouldn't do. She did it times 2 just to prove that you could do it. Yeah, goddamn, you're a precious diamond. Tena anayo nidhamu.
All right, asante. DJ wetu Aqua Attachment. Hii ndio kazi yake ya kwanza. We'll start from the very far end, coming this way, unless you feel like going random vile unataka. But we are ready for you. Ms. Nzembi, you're talking to us about community service. Community service. You can keep it 3 minutes, itakuwa tamu. 5 minutes is your max time. We're good to go. Okay, let's appreciate this panel one more time. Asante.
Thank you so much. My name is Stella Nzembi from Kangundo. I've been chosen to speak about community service. And I went back home as a way of giving back to the society. I chose to assist, first I chose a group of widows, and I chose to assist them in generating income in just a small way. And what these ladies used to do, they used to make soap, let's say it's detergent, and they started with just washing soap. So what I did is I adopted this one group, and my role was to supply them with chemicals just to prepare the soap. And once they make the soap, they sell to the community, and then they generate some income together. So what I did is I got somebody who trained them on how to make it professionally. And in the process, we expanded because they started making the washing soap, but we expanded to making jik, Harpic, Star Soft, and Kero. And since then, these women have continued to do this, and I have continued to supply them with the detergents every month. And through that, they have managed to make a lot of money. Now, I decided to expand the groups from 1 to about 4. And in the process of interacting with these women, it just became like a hobby. I enjoyed what they were doing because when you empower a woman, you empower the whole society. So I continued adopting a few groups in all the wards in Kangundo. And generally what they were doing was basically that, training them how to make the detergents and selling them. But in the process, we went ahead and I gave them money to do table banking. Now, these women have continued to thrive in their small way and are within a few years, by the end of this year, I am sure some of them will be expanding their businesses to buy some land, and others want to start packaging water, and others have even requested to make a posho meal for them to continue making some flour. I am so grateful with the resilience I have seen with these ladies. When we talk about the youths, I have bought some utensils for a group of youths who do some catering. So through that, these boys are able to look for businesses, cook and offer catering services to events, and they have managed to thrive, all of them together. So that gives me a lot of joy, a lot of confidence, and it keeps me going just to empower the society and make sure that we continue thriving, all of us together. I am so grateful for this day that I'm able to sit here and talk about empowering a community, because that's something I can encourage each and every one of us to just do, because when we empower our community, then so many things happen. There's less insecurity, and just people come together and they learn how to grow together. Thank you.
My name is Evelyn Cheluget. I'm the acting CEO, Teacher Service Commission. I'll talk to you about the role of women in education. And I will tweak my speech towards how do we support women as leaders in the education sector. First and foremost, we do push for policies that support women, such as ensuring that there's gender parity. And I'll give you an example of the teaching service. In all our policies, we ensure that whatever we do, we ensure that there is parity. And as a commission, for example, who manages teachers, which is the largest employer in this country, we've managed to push policies and ensure that in terms of gender, our teachers are 51 to 49. Actually, 51% of our teachers are women, which is a great achievement for this country. Many people say teaching is a career for women. Yes, it is a career for women because they are the co-creators. They are the people who mold our children. They are the people who develop their skills and nurture their talents. As a leader in education, we also play a critical role in protecting our children, especially the girl child, against sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional or psychological abuse. As a commission, our teachers are entrusted with managing the young girls in our schools and also the boys, but more so, we are very keen on how do they manage the girl child, how do they support them, how do they protect them from aspects of gender violence. We also ensure that our policies also are conducive for our female teachers. For example, we give them humble time to go for leave, to take care of our children, unlike other sectors. We give our female teachers 120 days maternity leave. That is adequate enough to support them so that when they come back, they concentrate on the teaching, knowing that their child has grown and is doing well. Equally, as leaders in the education sector, we play the role of being role models to our girls so that they grow also looking up to people who are leaders and leaders of integrity. In my leadership journey, I've realized the most important thing for a leader is integrity. And we face so many challenges as women because people believe this is a large workforce, you cannot be led by a woman, and so on and so forth. But we've broken those ceilings, and we believe that we are capable. We have the requisite qualifications, just like men. And we are able to lead, and our work will be, is appreciated even in such forums. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Lynette Kinga, the CEO of Bed Palace, Kenya. It's a company that specializes in making quality furniture. All of your home furniture, quality, comfortable. We make all kind of home furniture. So I'm here to speak about women in business. As a woman entrepreneur, I've learned that business requires courage, persistence, and vision. So basically, when we started Bed Palace, the vision was about to come up with quality furniture, because by that time we had furniture in the market, but not to the standard that we as Kenyans we would prefer. So most of the times you will find that you go, you make your order in the market, but when the delivery date when you're hoping to get your delivery, it's not yet done. So we came up with the idea of starting a quality and a reliable company. That is Bed Palace Kenya. Also, challenges are not barriers. They are stepping stones to greater heights. There's a time we had an occurrence of fire at Bed Palace. By that time, we pressed on. So as a woman in business, it's good to understand that not every time you expect the good. Business have highs and has lows. So sometimes the seasons are good, sometimes they're not. So if your focus is to give value, if your focus is to give the best, you will go through all the seasons. And also at the same time, it's good to understand in every way we have to be persistent. In business, it's good to be persistent and also to have discipline in whatever you're doing. You remember your goal from the time you start until the last day. And this goal and this vision that you have is what will carry you from the day that you start your business until the day that you will get to venture into any other thing. And also this knowledge will carry you not only to the business that you're doing, also to the other kind of business, apart from whatever maybe you're doing at the moment, is what will carry you to the end. As a woman entrepreneur, it's good to understand that business is ultimately about solving problems and creating value. Women entrepreneurs should bring strength and highly valuable products in the modern market. Women empowerment is more than a phrase. It is a movement across our region. And women are building businesses, leading institutions, creating jobs, and uplifting families. To every woman here tonight, keep dreaming boldly, keep building fearlessly, keep leading with confidence. When a woman rises, she does not rise alone. She brings an entire community with her. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. I know we are between you and dinner, not supper, as said earlier on. So I'm Pauline. I'm a chief government of Mombasa, in charge of public service administration, which is devolution. I just first and foremost to quote an earlier speaker when you are starting the function. Someone said that women are competing men. We are not competing men. We are looking for our space. If you say we are competing men, then we'll continue having discussions on gender-based violence. We are simply looking for our space because when you go to the Bible, all the great men are said to be brought down by women, which is not true. Yet the same Bible says that Jesus was born of a beautiful woman. We are also competing culture, we are competing religious beliefs that says women are supposed to sit at the back of the church. But we are saying we have a space, we are fighting for it, we want to sit at the front. Now, being in charge of public service administration, one of the things that I do, or my department does, is training. And then I'll talk about the role of education on women. And I'll appeal to our brothers and sons, our fathers who are in this hall today, let's support women to go back to school. Education is the key for all of us. Many a times you find women struggle because they don't have an opportunity. They can't find a balance between being a mother, being a worker. There's a lot of target expected of her at the place of work. She leaves the place of work. When she's so tired, she goes back home. Then the role of being a mother steps in. The role of being a wife steps in. She doesn't think of herself. She thinks of her family first. So you'll find there's no given time that they sit down and sit and prioritize themselves and go back to school. It's never late. It is good to take a girl to school. It is good to take a woman to school because they say when you educate one woman, you educate the entire society. We want leaders who are well capacity built. We want girls who are confident enough. They know what they want in the society. We don't want opportunities being presented and the first question a girl is asked when she walks into a political space is, whose wife are you? Are you married? No. But when you're dishing out your money, nobody asks you whether you are married or not. But the marital aspect comes when it comes to the spaces, the opportunities that present themselves. Whether as a CEO, be it a political space, be it a director, the first question people ask is she married? But when it is a man, the question that people ask is, where does he come from? Whose son is he? So let's embrace education. The house girls we have at home, let's give them opportunity in terms of mentorship. So if you are a woman, wherever you are, there are formal and informal education. Anybody under you, capacity build, mentor. Be the example. When you get an opportunity, you fight through the ladder because people appreciate the end result, but they don't see the processes. The processes are painful. It takes a lot of sacrifice. You must be resilient to get where you want to be. When you get there, be a role model to the rest. Say that tomorrow people will not fight the space of a woman being up there. They'll appreciate the fact that there's someone who once went up there and delivered and proved the others wrong. Mentor the others. Be the Susan that brings out other Carolines. Do not go up there and you feel like I'm a woman and I don't want anybody to occupy this space, because every opportunity is transitional. You're there today, someone will be there tomorrow. So be the example. Do what you can do, when you can do it in your best capacity, but create the mini use when the opportunity rises. So let's not be selfish, let's not fight each other, but let's build a future where when we go and retire, we look back and say, I was part of the process that brought other girls on board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Linda Kiome Gitonga. I'm a Deputy Governor, Meru County, a lawyer by profession, and also now operating in the political space. I am very humbled to be here tonight to celebrate my fellow women in breaking the glass ceiling. In the space that I operate in, I think it's one of the toughest jobs to ever do, especially at my level. I started way back in the year 2022, and when I was nominated to run for deputy governorship, we did not succeed at that time. The governor who took over, Meru County, was also a female, but unfortunately, the drama that ensued thereafter with the leadership, that is how an impeachment ensued. And fortunately or unfortunately, I find myself in the place where I wanted to be in the year 2022. Mine is a story of resilience and hope, humility and grace. I have been able to go after women in the society. I have realized that indeed it is true that when you educate a woman, you educate the entire village. And also it is very important to know that women are the foundation of our economy. We are the foundation of our churches, our villages. We are the ones who literally run the world. We run our homes and we run the society. My work has enabled me to connect with the women in Meru County, irrespective of their levels of literacy. I have found myself in a position where I have to go down to that level where we are able to sit down and understand each other. I have found it being true that women can do so much. Women held a lot of power in the society. I have heard about Mama Mboga. I'm yet to hear about Baba Mboga. Mama Mbogas, we are very many. I own we, not because I'm a Mama Mboga, but because I have interacted with many women at that level in the society. I go to many churches. 70% of the church memberships are women. I have gone to village units to meet the society at that level, and 70% of the people I meet at that level, they are women. And so for me, it has become my core mandate as a woman leader at the topmost level in the county to be able to engage women at the very smallest unit, to be able to understand their needs, to be able to understand how I can be more a positive addition to their lives, not individually, because that would mean a lot of economic baggage, but more so at the units where they meet as women groups. One thing I have come to realize is that women are coming up so highly. Me, first of all, being a mother of 2 boys, and I really fear for the future of our boys in the society. And you have all heard, all those who spoke before me are all talking about, when I go to meet the women groups, and the people in the village know that the DG is around and is meeting a group of women, be able to know how we are going to remove the boy child from that pit that they are now into. Of course, there are very many men in the society that have, you know.
My name is Chanduko Mutua. I'm here to speak about the inclusivity in education. I work under the Ministry of Education, State Department, but suitable for persons with visual impairment so that we can empower them to be self-reliant, hearing challenged. So We wouldn't like still to keep on saying that we are challenged because we've already been given that word. So you have made us be that part. But we'd like to say that, so that is a stigma that we experience every other day. So in my interaction with in my journey as the principal, although I didn't start as the moments, are powerful reminder that inclusion is not optional, but it is essential. Broken that ceiling that other speakers ahead of me have spoken about, we realize that sorry. We realize that this award, which is not mine alone, belongs to my students, to the people that I work for, to the support system by the Board of Governors, by the government, and my colleagues, and to every individual who continues to push boundaries in environments that were not always designed with them in mind. I stand here as a representative of many silent but powerful stories of courage and perseverance. Inclusion to me, because I've experienced and I've interacted with this, is not an act of generosity. It is a fundamental human right. A truly inclusive society is one where every individual, regardless of ability, gender, and background, has equal access to education, opportunity, dignity, and participation. So we must also acknowledge that barriers still continue to exist. Some are visible, some like infrastructure. We keep on saying that we need to have accessible, that is least restrictive environment. Now for those with visual impairment, you know, when they are walking from one area to another, they use a white cane. That white cane is not a magic word. People think that it has eyes. This white cane just helps them to move around and to identify obstacles around their way. So we have those barriers that exist in terms of infrastructure, in terms of even equity, because not all of them get these chances and these opportunities to interact with others and to gain what the others are gaining. So that regardless of ability, gender, background, has equal access to education, opportunity, dignity, and participation. So we must also understand this and surely try to understand that these barriers continue to limit potential in ways that are often unnecessary and unjust. So in my work, I've learned the transformation happens when inclusion is embedded in systems, not treated as an afterthought. When we design everything we do with everybody in mind from the beginning, we create spaces where no one has to struggle or to belong. So in my experience that I've seen that these students are still stigmatized because to be in this special space, there are also underlying factors that we fail to understand. So most of the people assume that the persons with disabilities are rude, are arrogant, and all this. It is not like that. You need to understand them, understand where they are coming from, especially when they are coming for rehabilitation. When you lose your sight and you are in school, this inhibits your potentials, this inhibits your space because you are used to competing with the regular students. So when you lose your sight, you need to come now for counseling. Most of the parents skip that part of counseling because they expect the institutions with special needs that they have counselors in the school. We are training institutions, so we would expect them to have already accepted that disability or that space, and that they have already overcome the denial space. Because if they go to this training and they are still in the denial stage, it will be very difficult even for the trainers to do that. But we thank the hospitals because nowadays before we accept them, they have to have a referral. So in conclusion, I would like really to say to do the advocacy. That is our mandate, that we are supposed to do advocacy, that we are supposed, I have the members here who are in the government set up. When you have your barazas, please let us have those students in our institutions so that we can impart those relevant and suitable skills to them. When you are talking of leaving no one behind, it is just a statement that needs to be qualified, that needs to be justified. It is relative. Leaving them behind, where are you, where are we? So if you're in Egypt, Cairo, and I'm in Lamu, there's the aspect of accessibility. How do I access the mainland? Do I use the boat? Do I use the boat, the quays which are there? Because that is the means of transport in Lamu Island. And when I get to the island, maybe through the boats or the flight, is it affordable? Can I afford a flight from Lamu to Cairo? So if I have to come by the road, there are the vehicles. Are they customized? Are they adapted? Because I can come on a wheelchair which is not automotive, which cannot be folded. So I have to be pushed. Does the vehicle, the matatu, have space for that wheelchair? Are they even willing to take me on board? So as policymakers, when we are also having these means of transport, do we have at least a single vehicle which is customized, which is adapted for a person on a wheelchair? I don't think we do. So do we sensitize our parents? Because we still hear that when we are going to grade 10, we mobilize those who have finished standard. I'm just talking of that is a recent example. Those who already did the grade 9. But do we still look for the special needs students locked in our homes? When they come also for rehabilitation so that they fit back to the society, do we accept we are giving service? How many of us have really implemented that? The TSC, we always recruit. And I remember there's some time because we are still under PSC, and we just employed them, those who had already qualified, without even interviewing them. Because sometimes they go to those interviews and they are not accepted. They are not even shortlisted. But anyway, just to cut this story short, let us all embrace inclusivity, and the world will be suitable for each one of us, and it is big enough for everybody. And I want to thank also Machakos University. They are my mentor. They gave me that title, Dr. Nduku. Thank you so much. There's a lot we can discuss, but also we are teachers. We also keep time. The organizers, we were told to be here at 5. So let's also be punctual in our activities. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Here you are tired, you existed, you are keen to go to what brought us today. So I'll make it quick and simple. As I add my voice to the conversation, great conversations that we've had tonight, allow me to start off by Samantha, my niece, 20 years old girl, Memo, another niece, who is in her 20s, and Chela, a neighbor, in her 20s. And to say that who I am, I'm June Chepkeme, I'm the CEO of Kenya Tourism Board. I am at home, I've worked in the public sector, I've worked in the media, and I have built my skills both through education, through upskilling and learning this evening, with due respect to the good job that those women who went before us, the foundation that they laid for us to be able to get to these spaces. But we must also accept that the spaces are not granted based on your gender, but it is based on your ability to lead. So women in leadership are often defined by gender labels rather than achievements and skills. And the core really is we must begin to define women based on their ability to lead and not a gender label. Real leadership is about vision, it's about strategy, it's about execution, it's about measurable impact, and leading with transformative mind and building a culture of highly effective institutions or spaces that we lead. And therefore, as we progress this conversation about women empowerment, we really must confront the reality that is pulling us down as a society, that we are then beginning to separate leaders based on their gender spaces. Today, as women leaders, we are facing ridicule and bullying in different platforms, be it mainstream media or digital spaces, because we are man is able to bring forth in terms of ability to lead is ignored because of their gender. And therefore, it's time to address the elephant in the room and begin to have conversation that speaks to of doing as women in leadership and not the fact that I am a woman. In as much as gender conversations have continued to open spaces and affirmative action, we all agree that 90, if not 95% of that is not just based on your gender, but your ability to lead. I would like to see a generation that is rising beyond stereotype, defining women based on their gender, but begin to define them on what it is that they do. As I conclude these remarks, I would like to say that we live in a society that has decided that if you are a woman in leadership and you possibly question certain status quo, you are defined as either aggressive or disrespectful. And majority of the perpetrators are women. And therefore, while I celebrate those women who've empowered other women, we really must speak about the real issues that are stopping us from building an equal and just society. So let us not stop at women open doors, women close doors, women shut doors, women A, B, C, D. But let's just go straight into leadership traits that is of desirous of any leader in a country like ours. And therefore I want to believe, and I remember when I was invited to this session, I told the person who reached out to me, you invite me to the session because I'm a woman, because I will not come. But if you're inviting me because I'm a leader, then I will show up. And it took a lot of convincing that the conversation you're going to have is about leadership, it's about the change that we are making in the spaces that we occupy, it's about the impact that we have in the society, and not about gender. While gender is an important conversation to have, we need then to begin to take it to the next level that can lift the society. And therefore, I wish to agree with Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, that while we speak about the gender issues, we must pull a society that is whole, so that we do not also begin to isolate other genders by not speaking to the reality. Today, a boy child will feel disadvantaged because they are imagining that you will only succeed because you are of a certain gender. Again, our young girls are looking at us. And I remember when I was appointed, because I've been appointed twice, and to be a CEO is actually not appointment. You have to apply for the job, you go for the interview, and you must qualify. And I remember seeing memes, and you can search my name, June Chepkemei, online, of images that didn't even represent who I am. I think there was even a tattoo. I honestly have no tattoo. There's one that was showing me winking at the president in an event I wasn't there, just because I am a woman. So I will not sit here and have conversation about occupying spaces because you are a woman. Occupy that space, young girl. And that's why I brought Memo to this space today. I brought Mercy to this space today, for them to know and understand that leadership requires you to, first of all, get the skill. So go to school, learn, build that competence, put your best foot forward, get the job done, work hard, push it. Do not sit back and imagine that there are positions that are there because you are a woman. The only position that exists for a woman is the position of a women representative. And I promised myself that I will not stand for that position, because when you are going out there to lead, you must be willing to stand on the same pedestal as men. And therefore, whatever it is that we do it as leaders, not as a gender assignment. While I respect my peers' gender, we really must begin to ask ourselves, what is this that we need to address to build our nation, to take the country to the next level while leaving no gender behind. Thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to a great evening.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's appreciate the ladies as they leave the stage to take their seats again. Asanteni sana. That was beautiful. The staff at Agile. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a beautiful evening. I know how panels can make you sometimes feel like, hey, imekuwa ndefu. We are ready now for the chief guest. But before that, this lady was supposed to be in the panel, mapema. But she stepped in a bit late. She was supposed to discuss women in the media space, but amefika kuchelewa. So we'll only allow her to say jambo and throw a word, not as part of a panel, before we bring in the chief guest. She's my friend. The family is my personal, we have a personal relationship. I love it. Kama kuna mtu naonea huruma ni bwana yake. Mtu mwenye naonea huruma ni bwana yake. You can't even go home ulize, baby, how was your day? How was your day? Na mlishinda pamoja kazini. Yeah? Mtu akikukasirikia, amekukasirikia nyumbani tena na kazini. Huyu mbaba anasafa. Huyu mbaba ndio namuonea huruma kabisa kwa maisha. This is the only man who is allowed, who can stand tall and say, I don't cheat. Utacheat sangapi? Kazini, mpenzi mtazamaji, nyumbani, mpenzi mume wangu. Unatoa wapi nguvu? Uwezi ukasema, oh, job imekuwa mingi leo, mko na job. Ndugu, wachana na hiyo kitu, rudi mjengo. Mjengo hakuna bibi atajua siku yako ilikuwaje. So allow me to invite the lady. She's the queen of the silver screen. She's beautiful, intelligent, and a superwoman. Please help me welcome on stage for just a minute, Lulu Hassan. Huyu Mungu alimuumba saa 6 kama Mungu ameshiba. Anamwekea polepole rangi, akaambiwa jichagulie pale. Akajipakia rangi yake mwenyewe. Lulu Hassan. Unaweza ukamuita mpenzi mtazamaji? Kuja, umeambiwa ukuja. Hata wewe unajua vizuri usipokuja unaweza ukaachwa hapa. Lulu.
Good evening. Habari zenu. Poleni kwanza, niwe radhi kwani tulikuwa tunasoma news. So mnaona tumejivalia kusoma news. Sawa sawa. Hawajaonana I think more than 10 years. By the ukiona hiyo hug ilikuwa ni more than 10 years if I'm not wrong. Labda Rashid ongea mawili matatu and then wasikie sauti yako.
Habari zenu. Nafikiri Otoyo ameharibu jina langu. Ameniita mwanamume bwege. Lakini najivunia kuwa bwege kwa sababu hakuna mwanamume ambaye atafaulu bila mwanamke karibu yake. Kuna kitu maishani tunasema kila mtu anataka kuwa star kwa ile department anafanya. Kama ni mama mboga wataka zako zinunuliwe vizuri. Kama ni CEO wataka pia kampuni yako ing'are. Lakini hatuwezi kuwa masters bila darkness. Sio? Mpaka kuwe na giza ndio nyota ing'are. So maishani, kama ni mwanamke ama mwanamume, hata kama tuna celebrate wanawake, lakini lazima tujue kwamba bila watu karibu yako uwezo wako hauwezi kuonekana. So you need people for you to show what God gave you. So mkiwa maofisini, do your best. Jinsia isiwe kipaumbele, lakini uwezo wako ndo uwe kila kitu. Wanasema usimsifu baba yako ana mbio, lakini msifu anayemfukuza baba yako. Maana akinyamaza baba yako atakimbia. Akizidisha mbio baba yako anakimbia mbio zaidi. Kwa hiyo asante sana.
Kidogo niongee mawili matatu. I think I'm honored to be here. Kama sijakosea Rashid, itakuwa ni award ya 5 this month. Yes. Nilikuwa naongea na Trudy pale nje, inamaanisha kwamba as much as unafanya kitu, you might be doing something but hujui nani anaona. Me truly speaking, siku expect kwamba nitakuja tena nipate award. Last week tulipata award na Pauline, hiyo wiki nyingine tulipata award. Yamaanisha kwamba whatever good you do, kuna mtu uko nje anaona. Unajua unaweza kuwa unafanya kitu, unaona mbona, but trust me, there's somebody out there mwenye anaangalia juhudi zako zote. And siku kama hii ya leo, kama mlivyoweza kuambia, ni kwamba tumetoka studio. Mimi ni mwanahabari, but then again apart from that, mimi ni philanthropist. Mimi pia ni entrepreneur. Nikisema philanthropist ni kwamba nafanya kazi nyingi sana za community to an extent paka naitwa mama fulani huko nyumbani. As it is right now, I think chimba kisima changu cha 10 jana, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So ni kuwahimiza tu wanawake wenzangu. I loved what the CEO wa KTB pia aliweza kusema. By the way, nimemwona, I really admire her. Na pia ningependa pia tufanye kazi na yeye, and I believe this is a very good platform ya kunetwork. Mimi nimekuja hapa to network. Naamini kwamba kile kizuri ambacho niko nacho na kuna wewe pia una kizuri, tukiunganisha pamoja basi we'll do something great. So na believe kwamba huu wakati ni wetu. Ni wakati wa kina mama. Najua kuna wanaume, but I believe the future is bright. Huko mbele ni kuzuri kabisa. Sio kwangu peke yake, but kwa nyinyi wa mama wote kwa hii hall. Nasema thank you very much. I wish I'd come earlier, but then again ningewapatia mawili matatu kuhusiana na wamama upande wa media. Tumeweza kumsikia CEO KTB akisema jinsi watu walivyomdhihaki, akisema kwamba wengine walimweka tattoo, wengine walimweka nini, but trust me, kuwa kwa media miaka 20, by the way na timiza miaka 20 kwa TV. Mmeniona for 20 good years, but it will reach a point pia nitasema adios. Sindio? Wakati pia utafika, lakini kuwa miaka 20 kwa TV, you must have a thick skin. At times mnatuona tuna smile, lakini uweze kujua what is going on. Tunaweza kuwa tuna smile na Rashid, trust me, wezi jua kama tumepigana 5 minutes ago. Si kupigana ndondi, but then again tumekuwa na disagreement. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Ina take courage, ina take humility, inataka pia mapenzi ya dhati. Na kwa kina baba hapa mliko nyumbani, kama alivyosema Otoa, alimuenjoy akisema kwamba ni bwege. Imagine it works. Sio story na ubwege, ni kuwa rafiki. Yule mtu wako kule nyumbani, mfanye rafiki kabla awe mpenzi wako. Trust me, mtafika mbali. Nasema hivyo nikiwa na experience ya miaka 16 ndani ya ndoa. Nadhani tumeelewana. I think ikifika time ya award nitaweza kuzungumza mengi kuhusiana na award ambayo labda nitakuwa nimepewa. Nitawaambia ni kwa nini labda imenileta hapa. Kuna mambo mengi ambayo tunafanya ambao wengi hamyajui, na Rashid sidhani kama pia aliweza kusahau kusema kwamba apart from mimi kama mwanamke, na imani kwamba mimi singeweza kufanya mambo mengi bila yeye kunishikilia. Wanaume wengi, sio wengi wanaruhusu kina mama labda watoke nje. As it is right now, as we're speaking, mimi asubuhi nilikuwa Mombasa, nimeingia na flight ya asubuhi Mombasa, nimerudi saa 8, nimeingia studio, nimefanya job, nikasema after studio tunakuja kwa award. Lakini usipopata bwana kama huyu, sidhani kama unaweza haka. So tunahitaji marashid wengi, si ati nasifu Rashid wangu, tunahitaji marashid wengi sana hapa. tutasukuma ili gurudumu la maisha, gurudumu la familia. Nyi pia mtasimama mkisema kwamba mimi pia nimeweza kukaa katika ndoa yangu miaka kadhaa, lakini huyu ni rafiki yangu, huyu ni mpenzi wangu, huyu ni baba wa watoto wangu. Na nina imani kwamba yeye ndo amefanya pia, mbali na Mungu, nimepata tuzo hizi. Ingekuwa ni yule bwana wa kunikazia, sidhani kama ningekuwa hapa na nyinyi. Sasa angeniambia sasa ni time ya kula, nahitaji wewe unipikie, sitaki msichana wa nyumbani anipikie, tungekuwa hapa kweli leo? Lakini tunaelewana. Asanteni sana. Na Otoyo pia oe.
Nachoma. Nasikia ni kama damu yangu imekukataa, sikupendi. Let's appreciate Lulu and Rashid. That was beautiful, right? Asante. Thank you. Those were inspirational comments, Lulu. Asante sana, and I'm proud to call you my friend. Asante. All right. It's about time. Kindly move the podium at center stage for me. Tufanye imambo. Let's all be upstanding, ladies and gentlemen. I'll play a song that she loves. Nimemuona aki dance kwingineko, so leo tutai dance kwa pamoja kama itawezekana. Apart from being a PS, she is a published author. She has, I think she still chairs the board, advisory board, Kenya Defense Forces, Kenya Defense College. All right? She's just a phenomenal woman with a lot on her plate, but still finds time to dance, to have fun, to meet family and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we are upstanding to welcome this beautiful lady. She is our chief guest tonight. Principal, Secretary for State Department for Public Service and Human Capital Development. Let's make some noise. Appreciate the one and only Dr. Jen Kere Imbunya. Dr. Jen, tafadhali. Unaona? Dr. Jen.
So amazing how this world was made. I wonder if God is the one that stands me to this day. I give it up for the woman.
Let's do it together, women.
She's the constant wind that fills my sail. Oh, that woman.
Are you a woman in the house? Come on, sing. Yeah.
And a star, she'll protect you like a child. That's a woman. She'll put a smile upon her face and take you to the higher place. So don't you underestimate.
Strength of a woman. Thank you. Thank you. Can we take our seats? Distinguished ladies, all the guests present, thank you all for your presence. Thank you all for your audience. And I want to thank you all for your goodwill. Before I say a thing or so, with your indulgence, allow me to acknowledge my family here today with me. My son, Yahuma, just can wave. Come here, come here. I'm a mother of 2 boys. This is Harkins, my eldest son, a very good friend of mine. He has a younger brother, Bramwell, and I am a grandmother to Joe Jr. You can go and sit. I have my sister here who follows me. When you listen to me, you'll understand why it is important for me to mention these people. They are my pillar. In a short while, you'll understand what that means. That's my sister, Susan, my one and only sister. She is accompanied, she's together with her husband, Fred, and their 2 children. There they are, thank you. I have my colleagues from the State Department, if you could just rise. I am with the only gentleman with the ladies today, Mr. MacLeod Malonza. He's my Director, Management Consultancy Services. We reorganize government through the directorate in which he works. I'm also with Madam Mikal Ingonga. She too is a director in the Directorate of Management Consultancy Services. I am honored to have with me Madam Jackie, who is also my director. My State Department is the custody of all the policies in government, and she is my policy maker. Thank you. You can take your seats. I begin here this evening. Eleanor Roosevelt was a political activist and America's longest-serving First Lady, the wife to Franklin Roosevelt. 12 years as the President of the United States. But in 1940, she said something that was very profound. And because I stand today before the women and men of valor, let me share with you. She said this: a woman is like a tea bag. You cannot tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Did you hear me? Oh yes, that is just how strong a woman can be. We've been here for quite some time. I will try to be as brief as I can. There's no better place to start this conversation than a question that begs answers. Have you ever looked at a woman who is smiling, succeeding, and showing up strongly, without realizing the battles she has fought quietly just to remain standing? Needless to say, my dear audience, this evening, sometimes the strongest woman in the room is not the one who can shout loudest. It's not the one who can put on the highest heel. It is not the one who puts on jewelry made of gold. It is the woman who learned how to rebuild herself while carrying pain that nobody ever saw. Tonight, hear me and believe me when I say to you that I stand before you to receive this recognition, yes. But I don't stand before you as somebody who has had a smooth journey in life. Like many of you here, I grew up in a small village, Ishirere, Imatende, Ishikoe, Ibukulunya, Kakamega County. There were no special connections, no silver spoons. I had no guarantee that I would stand before you this evening as the PS in charge of all the public servants in Kenya. The only thing I heard, which I believe most of you and all of us heard, were the big dreams. And not even the dusty roads of Ishirere, not even the muddy streets of Ishikoe would dim that dream. To be honest, if you can hear me tonight, there were moments in life when I thought my dreams were too heavy because the only wealth that I had between me and what I had always dreamt to be was that pen with a bottle of blue ink. I was prepared to be resilient. I was prepared to be respectful. I was prepared to ensure that I watch my character. But I was never, and nobody prepared me for the very difficult moments in life. And here is the story of my life. I am a widow. I know what it means to hit rock bottom emotionally. There were many days when the only thing I could see through the window of my bedroom is the grave of my husband. So much silence in my thoughts, in my dreams, in my ambition, in the person I saw every time. Some of you who may have gone through that experience, and many of you, I pray that you never live to go through that experience. But in that difficult, I learned something that is greater than them all. I learned, and I can confirm, that a woman is like a river. Even when rocks try to block her path, she does not stop flowing. It would be an injustice if I did not share this story with you. That became my story. This is how I did it. I decided that pain would not bury me. I decided grief would not define my tomorrow. I decided I would honor my late husband, Dr. Joseph Muhadia Imbunya, a great son of the land of Vihiga. I decided I will honor him by never giving up. I decided to rise and to rise higher by simply living with purpose. Today, I stand before you as the Principal Secretary in charge of public service and human capital development in Kenya, at the behest of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. Every morning I wake up, I pray for that man. And I tell God, the God of widows, bless this man. Because today I rise and stand here as a widow who has gone through so much, but never gave up. If you are in this room today and you have a relative who is a widow, tell her, On the day when she buried her husband, she was empowered. If he only left her with a frying pan that makes chapati, ask her to rise. That is the wealth that will make her rich. She moves with that frying pan to the next Mujengo building. The only favor you do, buy her 2 packets of ungangano and mafuta ya kupika chapati. That one, whose husband left a 1-acre land, tell her she has wealth. Stop planting maize, plant kunde, sell it in less than 3 months. Why am I saying all this to you? What matters most is how a woman lives beyond that difficult moment. That challenge does not define who you'll be. That challenge does not stop the story of your life. What matters most is impact. Being able to do what can make you stand tall and high. To that girl child in the slums of Nairobi, in the villages back in our counties, standing on the streets this evening, I want to say this clearly. Where you are born can never and will never determine who you become. As a woman, decide who you want to become. I've heard about Madam Pauline. Today is a beautiful day. I've seen her, the rally driver. Lulu Hassan, we lived in Botswana. My husband would watch news because of you. Rashid, don't panic. He's of blessed memories, but he had a crush for her. He would just smile while she read the news. Remember, you may come from a small village like Dr. Jane Imbunya, but your vision can never be that small. You may lose everything in life. As a woman, always remember to rise again. I stand before you not as a novel story. My sister would tell you that, I wouldn't go there. She would give you my story. And none of you, after listening to her, would believe that today I stand before you, having beat all those odds. Never underestimate yourself. But the beauty of it is, as an African woman, as a powerful woman, you sit in the boardrooms, have serious meetings. You travel first class, go for conferences abroad. But the beauty of being an African woman is that you can never forget where your cooking stick for ugali is in the house. That is just how powerful you can be. As I finish breaking the glass ceiling and leading ahead, this is very thoughtful. Breaking the glass ceiling is not only occupying positions of power, it is doing, among many things, to me, the following. It's about breaking mental ceilings. It's about breaking cultural ceilings. I broke them. When it happened to me, I broke them. I would not be here today. I'm a Luya girl who was married to a Tiriki boy. The rest is history. Breaking the ceiling of fear and doubt of limitation. As a woman, I want to say this to you. You used your pair of school shoes to reach the glass ceiling. You used that pair of black shoe to break the glass ceiling. Now, come on, ladies. Let us use those shoes to walk on the glass ceiling. Nothing should stop you. If you ever doubted, you are holistic. Allow me to use the example in the Bible. When God created a woman, he put this man into deep sleep. That's a plastic surgeon. He put a lot of thinking into our creation. He took time to create us. And that is why our name is longer than that of a man with 3 alphabets. How many alphabets does your name have? So what can stop you? You are simply unstoppable. You have got strength that nobody else can ever understand other than you, the carrier of that strength. I finish by saying this. I celebrate the women who have kept going after betrayal. The women who kept praying after disappointment. The women who kept working after rejection. The women who kept loving their children while silently fighting battles. If nobody has ever told you, hear me when I say, you are seen, you are valued, and your story matters. The glass ceiling was never meant to be a roof over our lives. It was only a fragile barrier waiting for courageous women like me and you, looking at me and listening to me this evening. My final words. So let us continue leading ahead. Let us continue lifting others as we rise. Let us continue building a future where the girls will know their dreams are possible. And may every woman in this room remember my final words. Your scars do not qualify you from greatness. Sometimes they are the very evidence that you survived what was meant to destroy you. Thank you all. May God bless you, the women of power.
Let's give Daktari a warm round of applause. Asante, asante, asante sana. That was beautiful, right?